talking one-on-one, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plate, sending case after case. Run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snakes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bucco Bantr, our live mail show in the middle of the week. Mailbag,
dude.
I should say. Feel like we needed to record something.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. It's been a busy offseason for the Pirates and a lot to talk about, but we just wanted to connect with everyone and answer any questions you may have and talk Pirates offseason.
Absolutely. Well, let's start something that isn't Pirates related right now. Owen Casey.
I mean, crazy move. Are the Cubs
that?
trying to combat the Pirates right now, or is it the Pirates effect?
It could be. The Central's wide open, and the Cubs have not done anything. It doesn't make sense to me what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I will say this. So when I was an intern for the Mets,
of course,
Edward Cabrera was an arm that stood out to me on the complex. He stood out amongst everyone I saw that summer. Lived in the zone. A lot of guys in the complex that you see are a little bit wild. They have the stuff, but they're not in the zone and don't have the command and the mound presence. This guy did. He had an excellent changeup, excellent stuff. This is a guy that I've believed in a long time. The problem is, though, he hasn't thrown over 100 innings in a season. So Edward Cabrera. So the Cubs are giving up Owen Casey, Christian Hernandez, and another prospect for him. It seems like a little bit of a I hesitate to say overpay because I think Edward Cabrera is a pretty good pitcher, but the durability is a legitimate concern. So,
right.
Is that going to be enough for the Cubs? Obviously not. I think they need to add a little bit more. Who's going to play right field for the Cubs? Is Seiya Suzuki?
I guess so, because it just shocks me that they weren't really in the Kyle Tucker conversation at all. One, did he not enjoy his time there that much where they're just like, hey, this is a one and done type deal?
Yeah.
And then you thought, okay, if they're going to let go of Kyle Tucker, they have Owen Casey coming up, which was the thought at the last trade deadline of why they might not be willing to let go for Owen Casey or why they might value him as high as they do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, neither is the case. Owen Casey's gone. The Marlins got an absolute steal there. I love
their outfield is going to be Stowers, Casey, and Jacob Marcy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the Marlins have a lot to be excited about. Peter Benix has done a great job as GM of the Marlins. We're not going to talk about the Marlins too much, but I give the flowers where they're due. He's done a tremendous job as a GM for Miami. But the Cubs, what is the plan? I personally would not be comfortable going to a full season having Seiya Suzuki as my full-time right fielder. He's more of a DH at this juncture. And you got to think, is there something more that they're planning? Is Kyle Tucker still a part of their plans? To be seen.
You'd think if that was the case, it would already have happened.
You would think.
Either during the season or you make it happen early on. You say, hey, we're dedicated to this offseason. That also helps bring in other free agents.
Yeah.
Right? And we talked about the Cubs being cheap and not really wanting to do what is necessary to actually take that next step. Instead, they just hang around in the Central. But, hey, it might be the Pirates effect.
Yeah.
The Pirates are the most active in the Central right now. But that's what we're here today. We're here to get to your Pirates questions. So we're going to get into a mailbag. You could drop your questions in the comments and we'll open them up. We also have some questions that were submitted over X and Instagram and our website that we'll read off. We'll start with Instagram here. How many home runs does Suarez hit when he becomes a Pirate? I'll let you take that one. Just Suarez hit 49 last year. At PNC, he would have hit 42. Now the question is he regressing due to the second half? When he was with Seattle, he hit below the Mendoza line.
Yeah, he had a bad second half.
Had a really bad second half. Now, Seattle is not a hitter's park. A lot of people struggle there. It's a dead zone. That being said, one, do we believe the regression with Suarez? And two, if we don't and he becomes a Pirate, how many home runs do you get out of a bat like that?
I think as a 35-year-old third baseman, you have to believe in some kind of regression, right? That's inevitable. But I think, at bottom line, he's probably going to hit, my range is 34 to 37 home runs.
If you're adding 34 to 37.
I mean, their highest home run hitter last year was 20.
Right.
So
and I said it on the pod last week, at a bare minimum, you're getting 20.
Yeah.
Like if that was it, if you bought on Suarez and you got 20 home runs, that's 20 more than you had last year, and that leads the team.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't. Now, the question we have here from Greg, I'll just say Greg here. Honest opinion, do they have a legit chance to sign Suarez, or will they need to overpay to lure him? Had they moved on from Kutch? So we have
okay. Well, I'll answer the second half real quick. I think that's fairly obvious. I would be surprised if Kutch comes back because I don't really see the space for him right now. Like, I think they have a rotating cast of DHs when guys are getting off days, and Kutch purely wants to DH. Obviously, I speak with everyone in Pittsburgh. Like, we love Kutch and we'd love to see him back, but I don't see the fit here right now. So with the current, structure of this team, I would say that he is not a Pirate.
I'd agree with that. I just answer your own question here for a second. Looking at the roster as it lies right now, do you see him fitting in anywhere?
Suarez?
No, Kutch.
No.
Right? Because he can't play the field. And while he was far from the issue at the plate last year, you're talking about just a piece on the bench that you're not able to be flexible with.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas you have flexibility with O'Hearn, Horwitz, Lau, Reynolds now.
I mean, Lau can DH some days. I mean, there's been talk about him playing outfield, left field, whatever. I haven't seen him play outfield, but I think there's plans for guys to play all over the place and rotate at the DH spot, which I love. We've talked about this for the past year. Like, I want to see a rotating cast of DH guys. I want to see a flexible lineup. And with that said, I just don't see where Kutch fits in here, because he's not. If you have that rotating cast of DH guys, where is Kutch going to fit in when he doesn't work on the floor?
Exactly. So I think that answers the second half. First half, do they have a legit chance to sign Suarez? I think they have a chance.
I mean, people are saying that the money is too much. Like, I think the Pirates are hanging around right now. Like, all jokes aside, I think they're hanging around, and as a smart team should do, seeing where that price goes. But at the same time, they were all in on Okamoto, and we had information that it was probably not going to happen. But at the same time, that they were in on him, so they were willing to spend that money. So why wouldn't they be willing to spend 2 years of that?
Right. Yeah, I think 2 years. I've heard reports saying, maybe they need to go 3 or 4 to get Suarez. Well, I don't think that's a good deal for the Pirates. And I'm hesitant to say that because I think the Pirates should do whatever's necessary to lure a bat of that caliber to come here, especially now that you have Lau, that you have O'Hearn. I think the pitch is a little bit easier that, hey, you're not going to be the guy. You don't have to be the guy when you come to Pittsburgh. You don't have to hit 50 home runs here in order for this team to be successful. That being said, I think he's going to want at a minimum a 2-year deal. This is not going to be a 1-year deal for an aging veteran, and he's going to want $20 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to be the starting point in these negotiations. I don't know where it ends up, but I think this is where the Pirates seem to be willing to give an opt-out.
Yeah.
Hey, let's front load the contract, and there's a looming lockout coming out. Let's go from there.
Yeah.
So I think that's their best chance of getting a Eugenio Suarez. But there's other third base options out there.
You want to touch on them?
Let's touch on them real quick. There's trade options. Free agent options real quick. We've talked about Yohan Moncada at length, Joe. I'm not going to go down that route, but recently we've heard that there are other people that are on their board, and I think 2 names that we need to talk about over trade are Alec Boehm and Isaac Paredes from the Astros. Right. I think Isaac Paredes.
Isaac is one of our questions.
Isaac is one of our questions. So you want to read that question off?
Yeah. So the question that comes from Instagram, I believe, is
Isaac Paredes is a very similar profile to Eugenio Suarez. So this is a pull-heavy guy, and there's a lot of concerns about him being a pull-heavy guy at PNC Park. But
does Isaac Paredes make sense for the Pirates? He has a lot of power, but pulls the ball a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, if there's the hardest park to hit in Major League Baseball in terms of, or for a right-handed hitter, probably Seattle, right?
Yes.
Seattle is one of the hardest ballparks to hit in, and Eugenio Suarez has excelled there in years and hit a ton of home runs. I don't think that'll be a problem at PNC. It's obviously something to think about, but I think Paredes is a younger version of Suarez at this point. Like, is a guy that pulls the ball a lot, has a lot of power, is going to be offense first, glove second. If you're looking to maybe look over some run prevention first to score as much runs as possible, then a Paredes or Suarez is a great option.
Yeah, I'm not as sold on Isak, to be honest with you. Just from the power, if we're talking pure slug right now, he was playing with the Crawford boxes last year. If you're not familiar with Houston, very short left field.
Yep.
Okay. Guys like Alex Bregman have been successful there, obviously at Fenway as well. You got a short porch. Same thing for Paredes. I think at PNC Park, he hits 11.
But that's half your games are at PNC Park.
Okay. That's also fair. That's fair. And I get that. I think at that point, I'd rather do a platoon.
Well, I think there's going to be a platoon regardless. Right.
But I'd rather a lefty righty platoon.
Sure. So a Moncada or a Triolo.
Yeah. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of flack for that in the comments.
Come on, man. No.
Moncada. And I'm not opposed to Isak. Like I like Isak.
Yeah.
Hell, he was on my fantasy
Good
team.
bat. Good bat.
There's a ton of potential there, but right-handed hitters do struggle sometimes. Pull hitters at PNC Park, it's not ideal. You've built a lineup now where you have a lot of lefties, and you need some parity to that lineup. Where Okamoto would have been nice with that. And we have some questions here. I feel like they were willing to go 360 for Okamoto, wouldn't a 3 for 60 and an opt out after 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're advocating for, right? Like, I think that is what they need to do with a Suarez to lure him here. And I don't think the sell job is going to be that difficult to bring him to Pittsburgh. Like, he's an older guy. He loves the Clemente Museum, by the way.
Does.
Shout out Dwayne Rader from the Clemente Museum. Great guy. Eugenio Suarez is one of his guys. Loves going there when he visits Pittsburgh. I don't think it would be a big time sell job. You got Paul Skeens here. You got a really young up and coming team. He could be a veteran presence, really make a difference. It shouldn't take a lot to bring a guy like that to Pittsburgh, but 3 for 60 sounds like where it's headed.
I'd honestly go your fake 2-year deal.
Yeah.
I'd go 2-year opt out after 1.
Okay.
And I don't think he's going to be willing. I think that's a friendly option for him, because if he goes and he hits 50 home runs again, then he can try and go get his second bag. But this is going to be his last big paycheck.
It's going to be his big bag.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's going to want either a multi-year deal or the option to go hit free agency again. So I think 2 years, $40 million is great. I don't know if another team's going to be willing to give him 3 years, $60 million.
You even give him like 22 to 23 million in the first year. Just sugarcoat it. I mean, like, I don't know if the Pirates are wanting to do that, increase payroll that much, but they should be able to. The 2026 should be an all-in year for the Pirates.
I 100% agree. Here's a question. What would it take to acquire Addison Barger?
Love that question.
And
I'm a big fan of
follow up from someone says, I bet it starts with Seth Hernandez.
No, not for Addison Barger.
I don't think it starts with
No.
Addison Barger is a name that's come up in the past week where I could get on board with that.
Yeah.
That's also a good option where you get a lefty bat who could split time at third base.
He's a switch bat, right?
He also can play some outfield as well.
Strong arm. I love the swing. I love the big leg kick. I love the power potential. I'm a big Addison Barger fan. I have been for years. That would be huge. I don't think it takes a Seth Hernandez. Now, it might take a Christian Curtis.
I think it would probably take a Christian Curtis, and then
knowing Toronto, I know they would target Christian Curtis.
Yeah, Christian Curtis, and then probably another arm.
Yeah,
a younger arm. I really don't like Addison Barger has years of control.
Yeah,
so you might have to give up a little bit more, but a team like Toronto, like they still might be. I mean, Okamoto, I heard, is going to play more of a utility role there. He's going to move around, so I don't think they're that sold on him just being the everyday third baseman. But they could still be in on Bo Bichette. Right, they could still be in on some bigger names here. So, what does Toronto need? They need pitching.
Yeah,
right. I would bet they would want something a little bit closer. So maybe a couple of college, Thomas Harrington and Christian Curtis. How about that?
Both of them for Addison Barger.
Yeah, would you do that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would definitely think about it. I don't know if I want to make a decision right now, but yeah, I'm just so high. I'm so high on Christian Curtis.
Yeah,
man.
So am I. I like Christian Curtis a lot. Friend of the show, he's been on
twice.
I think the stuff there is incredible,
Mhm.
but at this point, you need bats.
Yeah.
Right. And I know they've brought in bats. Lau's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
We don't know if he's going to be extended. Barger has control. He could play multiple positions. He's basically everything the Pirates would love. He's a good clubhouse guy. Is Christian Curtis going to jump into this rotation anytime soon?
Yeah.
Yes. You think so?
I mean, listen, I think all jokes aside, I think Christian Curtis is going to have name recognition of like a Bubba Chandler this year in prospect circles.
Okay. That's bold.
I really do. Like, I think the stuff is that good.
So you think more then? Would you would want to do Curtis?
I do.
Straight up then?
Like straight up,
Is it the hesitancy then to throw in Harrington?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Both of them. Like, I think that's. Okay. I throw in other pieces. Like I've seen for Isak Paredes, it would take like Xander Meath, and I think there was another name that was thrown in there, but it was like nothing that I would like trip over.
Yeah. People are saying they think it would be a steeper package than one might expect for Barger.
Yeah.
And, we got I think it just takes prospects. Like, I don't think Toronto is going to ask for any major league pieces right now, but what arms that are going to be another option here? Ernie Clement.
I like Ernie Clement as a super utility guy, and he proved very valuable down the stretch for Toronto, obviously as a utility guy, but and he's such a pirate, such a pirate. But yeah, I would do Ernie Clement. It just wouldn't take as much as obviously Edison Barger, I don't think.
Yeah. Bucco Mike, I didn't get as tan as you wanted me to in Florida. I'm so sorry. Clement. Yeah, I mean, I think they're maybe Harrington.
So like Nick York is an interesting piece because we've heard recently that there's like genuine interest in Nick York. And I like Nick York as like a valuable utility piece at the big league level. He just hasn't had the at-bats to prove himself at the big league level. I think he could fetch something like more interesting than people think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree there. I don't know if Billy Cook really does anything for you.
Probably not.
But York and Harrington.
Yeah, I think York and Harrington gets you a very interesting piece.
There's a marriage there, right? Like Ben likes dealing with Toronto.
Yep.
And I think Harrington, could fit into that rotation at some point or be a long man for that type of team. He has years of control. And he's going to potentially be an odd man out here, although I don't think he's been given a fair shake.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Who's taking over and finding?
Who's taking over and finding? What is that?
More talent for the Buccos. If you trade away a ton, you need to add more talent. I'll be honest, I have no idea, Bucco Mike, what you're asking there.
That's us. We're in charge of that. Mickey, did someone say Mickey Moniak?
Mickey Moniak would be someone I'd be interested in.
I like Mickey Moniak as like a fourth outfielder. I've him and Jake Mangum together, roaming the outfield, playing all three positions. I think that'd be super valuable. I've been a big proponent of Mike Tauchman this offseason.
Yeah, I think those are all good fourth
outfielders.
I'd like Tauchman a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if Justin's not ready, which it seems like what people are betting on right now, like that's not to say that he's not going to be ready by opening day, but you got to have a fourth outfielder. So right now, left field's Jake Mangum, O'Neill in center field, Brian Reynolds in right field. So who's your fourth guy? And right now, that would be Jack Swinski. And do we want to open up 2026 with Jack Swinski as our fourth outfielder?
We do not.
We do not. I'll answer that right now. I don't.
But what are your chances that the Pirates sign Suarez? That's asked in the chat here. I'd say 30%.
Yeah, I would say below 50 for sure. I would just because like I think they're genuinely hanging around and seeing where the price goes, but I don't think they're like the front runners right now.
Yeah, here.
He could be a guy that signs late.
Does the swing and miss really concern you that much?
Not for a team that genuinely needs offense, no.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So the swing and miss would let me just preface it with this. The swing and miss would concern me if it was a guy that is not making enough contact either. Like a Jack Swinski, right? Like Jack Swinski has legitimate pop, but like he just does not swing enough to realize that potential, right? With Eugenio Suarez, like proof is in the pudding. Like he's a veteran. Like he's got 49 home runs. He's coming off a 49 home run season. Like he's gonna get into that power.
Yeah.
With Jack Sawinski, that's the big question. Is he going to get into that power? Because he's got like 30 plus homer potential, but like he just doesn't swing the bat enough.
Yeah.
He's almost too passive.
Yeah. This is actually a good question from Bucco Mike. Pirates front office was stripped this offseason. Who's bringing in more talent if we trade a bunch away? Well, I will agree with you that Justin Horwitz, we were talking about him earlier today. He did an incredible job.
Yeah.
With the draft and all the signings they've made over the past couple of years. And I think they've put themselves in a position where they can deal from some of that depth in order to help that major league team. But yeah, they're going to have to find some front office personnel that are going to be able to do an adequate job and continuing to bring in that type of talent. So
like we have a lot of belief in like Max Kwan on the international side, right? Max Kwan is the January signing period is coming up very quickly. So be on the lookout for that. But, you know, you got Kevin Graves, who's going to be the head of the draft, as they said, with Horwitz gone. So they're not like looking to basically replace Horwitz. You got Steve Sanders, who's heavily involved in that area. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of more of the same, but, I've liked a lot of what Tannenbaum has done in on the player development side. I've liked what Max Kwan has done on the international side. They're all newbies. So I'm just going to give them a chance and see what they do.
Sign Real Muto, Quintana, and Kutch what you're paying Suarez. So instead of paying Suarez $240 for 3 for $60,
I don't
sign Real Muto, Quintana. Quintana is going to be 1 year, $7-8 mil.
Yeah, and I think people are underestimating like Real Muto's contract. Like he's going to be at least 14, 15.
Yeah, per year. Yeah,
and he's older. He's a vet, so like that, you're already exceeding Suarez's contract at that point. Kutch is going to be, apparently he's got a blanket 1 year, $5 million contract as long as he wants. So, you know, do the math.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. Like, yeah, you can say like, hey, let's bring in more quantity over quality, I guess. And there's still quality there. Obviously, Real Muto has a ton of value. Quintana has a ton of value. Kutch has been part of this team, but where do you fit Kutch in? Again, like, yeah, we have other DH options that can also play the field. And then you could rotate out. You're also forgetting about Flores, right? If they really believe in Flores, the main piece in the Bednar trade, like you can also rotate him between first base, catcher, and DH. I think you're going to see a lot of opportunities for Flores this year. Like they have to give him opportunities. Like you traded your biggest trade asset for him, like, right? You got to give Rafael Flores a chance. And he showed like he deserved a chance last year at the end of the season. Like he came in and showed that he had some slug and showed a lot of assertiveness behind the plate. So I'm looking forward to Flores getting an opportunity at some point this year. This ties into some mailbag that we got on Instagram. Pirates trade options for third base. So we got some questions about Alec Bohm. We got some questions about Josh Young. And Isaac Paredes. We already talked about Isaac Paredes. Let's talk about Alec Bohm and Josh Young. Josh Young is going to take a lot more in terms of the trade value just because you have years of control there. Yeah, I think the contract will be a lot lower, but there's years of control. I think he's controllable through 2029. Yeah. Through 2030. Around there. So, yeah, it might take a bigger prospect, but like there's also the durability concerns and the injury concerns. So that plays against the Rangers, obviously. And then Alec Bohm's 1 year, $10.25 million this year he's due. So, you know, I think you could get them like a blue chip prospect at the lower level, an exciting blue chip prospect at the lower level, not an Edward Florentino, of course, but maybe a Xander Meath or, you know, I'm just spitballing here, but a couple guys of that length. And, you know, I don't think it's going to take too much. And that's just coming from me. I could be completely wrong, but 1 year left, $2.5 million. They already did that with Brandon Lau. He has $11 million due this year. He's in the last year of his contract. So are they going to do that with two guys? I don't know. I've kind of hesitated on Bohm the more we've talked about it. I like the bat. I like the bat in terms of getting on base, putting bat on ball, but there's not a high ceiling. Not much power in that bat. No. Sticking to the Phillies, I'm out on Castellanos. I'm gonna be very blunt here. I don't want Nick Castellanos. No. No. I think for multiple reasons. One, he cannot play the field. He beat Kutch. he's 100%. He's basically would step in and be Andrew McCutcheon. He would only be able to hit. He's a bad outfielder.
Yeah, bad.
Okay, like Philadelphia.
He might be better against our right field, like the high wall, but because like I know they started working positionally with him, like playing him in further in or further back. That was a big experiment with him when he got to Philadelphia. It might do him better in Pittsburgh, but he's got to play half of his games outside of Pittsburgh, so that's a big concern for me.
I don't want him.
Yeah.
I'd
rather not.
What that looks like. But
I'd rather not.
I don't think he also fits. Something that we talked about, Lau and Mangum when they were on the podcast, was they like the guys that they're bringing in order to mesh into this clubhouse, right? And they were told by the Pirates front office in those conversations, we're trying to build something special in terms of pieces that fit together. I don't think Castellanos is a piece that fits in that equation.
Not at all. Not at all. Before we go to more like comments, we want to go to one of the questions that we had on the pod. Trying to pull them up here. I know I have them here somewhere. If you have
also, feel free to drop more questions in the comments here. I'll answer this one while you're looking. Is bunting a lost art? Are the Pirates just bad at it? It's a lost art.
Okay, here's a good one. And this is one I was really excited to answer. On Instagram, who's a prospect outside the Pirates top 30 that we should keep an eye out for? And I was going to go really deep here, but I'll let you go first if you have one in mind. If not, I'll go.
Outside of the top 30.
Well, so like there's multiple top 30s, right? Like I was looking at MLB pipelines today. Christian Curtis is not a top 30 on MLB pipeline, and that's like a crime. Like he should be top 10.
How deep can I get here? Do they have to have playing experience?
I mean, no.
No.
Yeah, you can answer it however you want.
Dude, I'm fired up on Carter Guast.
I love it.
I'm fired up on Carter.
I am too. I mean, he's already got the frame like for MLB pitching, and he's got the mindset. I'm definitely going to be following Carter Guast.
Dude, that conversation. If you haven't checked it out, Carter Guast was the 17th round pick for the Pirates last year. He was on the podcast yesterday, so you can go back and check out the latest episode. Carter Guast, just 15 minutes of absolute dog.
Yeah, I'm super.
It reminded me of talking to Connor Griffin, like the maturity of that level of a high school kid coming out, overlooked Little Falls, Minnesota. I think the body type and the swing are definitely there. I'm excited. I think that's a name that's going to be overlooked. If I were to go someone who's played a little bit more, I like Eddie Rinder's swing a lot.
Yeah, I think Eddie Reinders, I don't know, like I don't think he like lit it up on the complex this year, but like I'm betting on the swing, the pedigree. I'm a big fan of Eddie Reinders.
Yeah. What about you?
All right, I'm gonna go deep here. I was gonna say like Christian Curtis for just going off of like who's the MLB pipeline top 30, but I think he's gonna be a top 100 prospect when this season's in full swing. I'm gonna go Carlos Castillo. It's a guy I've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
19-year-old righty out of Valencia, Venezuela. He played his whole year in Bradenton this year, full season ball as a 19-year-old, and held his own. It's really impressive to me for a teenager to hold his own in full season ball, in affiliate ball. Carlos Castillo was 4-4 with a 3.79 ERA and 95 innings pitched, 24 games, 76 Ks, and a 125 WHIP. This is a guy who's definitely polished as a pitcher, and he got a little bit of a taste of Greensboro at the end of the year, and I'm really excited for him to start there this year as a 20-year-old. I think this is a name that's going to really pop up. He's got super intriguing stuff. You should definitely keep an eye out for him. I think at minimum, he could be a back-end rotation guy.
About Carlson Reed.
That was another interview that we had recently. It came out on New Year's Eve, or not New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. Carlson Reed out of WU, and I won't hold that against him. WU, it is what it is. But Carlson Reed is a guy that I think has, if he's not in a rotation, I think he could have high leverage potential.
Right.
So, and he has that experience at WU in the Big 12, and he's a guy that I love his mindset and his work ethic. We talked to him. He's super awesome guy. Definitely keep an eye out for him. He's going to be an Altoona this year for sure.
Would the Pirates trade for Nolan Arenado at third base? Would Cardinals pick up some of his salary? I think they would have to if the Pirates were interested in that, and I don't know if that's something that would happen in the Central.
I don't
in
think the
terms of
Pirates
salary talk. I don't think they would mind trading him in the Central. I think it's more of a money situation there.
Yeah, I don't think the Pirates are gonna take on Nolan Arenado, any type of a contract. But like at the same time, like this is a guy that I would welcome into the clubhouse.
Yeah,
Like, this is the type of guy like people are sour on Nolan Arenado as a veteran. Like he's not bad. Like he's not like below replacement level, but he is a guy that I would think would have a positive impact on this clubhouse for sure.
Do you think the Braves would listen on Austin Riley? How much do you have to give up?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. I would love Austin Riley too.
Absolutely.
I would love Austin Riley. It's just not. I think we have a better chance of acquiring Jazz Chisholm from the Yankees.
Which I actually like Jazz.
As a lefty,
As a lefty, I think Jazz would fit.
Do we have a Nick Samillo comment?
We have Nick Samillo, Dominic Parachi.
Okay, I like both of those guys. Nick Samillo is going to be Rutgers guy, right? He's going to be in AAA this year. Dominic Parachi, love his stuff. He was in Arizona Fall League. He'll probably be AA, AAA this year. So 2 names to keep an eye on.
Other Pirates free agent signing potential. So we obviously have talked about Yohan Moncada a lot on the show, where, again, this is, if the Pirates have interest in him, we think it happens later on in the offseason, where maybe some other options aren't on the board for them. That being said, if Moncada is here as a platoon with Jared Triolo and he's strictly facing right-handed batters, he has a plus 800 OPS. Like, I know you could definitely come back and say, hey, he's going to take a 5-month sabbatical. He's going to be hurt. The injuries are definitely a concern, but the numbers don't lie when it comes to hitting right-handed pitching. And that's something that Jared Triolo has struggled with, but he hits lefties well. And he plays, if you can get more of Jared Triolo playing glove first, third base, and hitting average against left-handed pitchers, and then throw in Yohan Moncada, who has a lot of power potential against right-handed pitching, I think that's a perfect marriage.
It is a perfect marriage because also, like, you could use Jared Triolo as like a late game, like, defensive replacement. We see teams do this in the outfit all the time, right? So, Yohan Moncada starts the game against a righty, and then they bring in a lefty reliever, or they just want assurances defensively. You bring in Jared Triolo. Yeah. And Jared Triolo had almost a damn near 800 OPS against left-handed pitchers this year. And I think, you won't find a bigger Jared Triolo believer than me. I still think it's there. The bat's there. And I think he can do more than just be a odd side of a platoon. But at the least, like, this guy is a major league defensive replacement.
I agree with that. Other free agents, Victor Caratini.
Victor Caratini is a guy that we need to talk about a little bit more because this is, I think, like, super realistic.
100%, yeah.
Especially
switch hitting
catcher who coming off a career year, 12 home runs, like a 740 OPS,
played 114 games.
114 games. Like, bring in this veteran catcher, and a lot of people are going to ask me, like, why do we need a catcher? We got 4 guys. Well, we've talked about this over and over again.
You got 4, you got 9.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hesitant to say that you can put in like Rafael Flores and Joey Bart as your catchers for this staff. Like, you need a plus defensive guy, and Henry Davis is their guy. Like, Paul Skeens loves throwing to him. Mitch Keller loves throwing to him. Like, he is the pitcher's guy.
Yeah.
So
Bill Murphy, man.
Bill Murphy
connection right there.
Exactly. And Bill Murphy has a connection to Victor Caratini. He's a good defensive catcher, and he provides more offensively than Henry Davis does. And I think that'd be a perfect marriage. I really do. I think the contract's probably like a year or 2, $8 million a year.
I think it's 2 for 16.
2 for 16?
Yeah, 2 for 16.
I think it's worth it, man, as a catcher, because, like, Andy can't stay healthy. You need to give opportunities to Rafael Flores, and I think he will get them naturally.
Right. But he has flexibility. He can play
he has flexibility. He can play first base.
Yeah.
Joey Bart, outside of, if he's not going to be an offensive plus, what are we doing?
Yeah, I agree. Bucco Mike, I love this because our Noah Wright, who writes for the website, talked about the Joe Stinson Garcia trade.
Yep.
And while Garcia definitely takes the headline back with Oviedo, Jesus Travieso was a name that he wanted to highlight, who has a ton of potential, who can move through the ranks fairly quickly. So very good there. Here's a fun one. Oh, actually, let's go back. How would you compare this rotation versus the 2015 rotation? Skeens, Keller, Jones, Chandler, Ashcraft, Barco versus Cole, Hap, Liriano, Burnett, Locke. I'm going
More veterans in that rotation.
Yeah, definitely
It's
a little
definitely
bit
younger.
more experience, probably eating a lot more innings in that rotation, but I'm taking the upside of the 2025 rotation 10 out of 10 times. Anytime you put Skeens in a rotation, I'm taking that one.
Before we, like I know we've been going at it for like 30 some minutes,
going.
but I got some questions here that were submitted beforehand, and we can get to some of these in the chat. But should the Pirates be in on a low risk, high reward guy like Evan Phillips? And this is a name that I've talked about quite a bit. I feel like I've mentioned him on the pod once or twice, and he was a former closer of the Dodgers. He's a free agent, and it doesn't seem like, I feel like if teams were hot on him, he'd be signed by now. I don't think it's going to cost a whole lot to sign him.
The numbers are good too.
Dude, Evan Phillips is a dog. I think this is like, if they were to land Evan Phillips, I'd be ecstatic. On maybe a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal, prove it deal. Like, I don't know what his contract's going to look like. He's coming off of I don't know if he was injured this past year, what happened with him exactly, but this is a guy who has closing potential, and he closed with the Dodgers. So if you put him in the back end of that bullpen, like, you're going to have closer by committee here by the end of the year between, Dennis Santana, Gregory Soto, who was just signed. You got Isaac Madsen, who we love, Mason Montgomery. Carmen Wojcinski has closing potential. I don't care what anyone says. He has closing potential. And then if you added Evan Phillips, man, like you got a lot of options to go in the bullpen.
Here's a question from Instagram. Is there a path for Nikki G to get consistent playing time in 2026?
Injuries.
Yeah.
No. So in all seriousness, like, depending on Connor Griffin's fate, like if he starts the season as on the opening day roster, then he's a shortstop. If not, it's going to be between him and Triola to play shortstop. So he's going to get consistent playing time regardless. I think Nikki G, the best ability is availability, and his availability across the infield is going to be very valuable for the front half of this season. And we're going to like kind of see from there.
If not, if Connor Griffin makes the team out of camp, you could see Nikki G in Indianapolis. I think
does he have options? He definitely does, right?
He definitely does, but it's a very tricky question because I like Nick Gonzalez.
Love Nikki G.
And I think you need that type of aggressive bat in your lineup. And having a Nick Gonzalez hit 7th or 8th in your lineup who could swing the bat really hard, I think it's a really good thing to have. If he could be a bench bat, if there's a way for him to fill in, I like that a lot. I
just want to point out, like, this is a good problem to have. Like last year, like we were talking about Nikki G being a full-time player, and like our bench bats being Emmanuel Valdez and whoever else was brought on, Alika Williams, whatever else. So like if Nikki G is the guy that you're contemplating getting like the bench at bats in the infield, like you're in a really good spot as a team, especially in the NL Central.
I'm going to try this exercise real quick. Projected batting order.
Okay. So I'm gonna have a different lineup than most people would. Like, I would love to see Mangum 1 in left field. I'd love to see Spencer Horwitz 2nd.
Okay.
Get Mangum on and have that first baseman covering first base and have the right side open, especially against a right-handed pitcher. Have Spencer Horwitz show up and he's got a 350 plus OBP. Reynolds 3rd.
Okay.
And O'Hearn 4th.
Lau 5.
Lau 5. Now, this is where it depends on handedness. Like, I'd like to put O'Neill there, but I think O'Neill is good in the 7th spot.
Okay.
Who is in the 6th spot would be, say we sign a Victor Caratini.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Connor Griffin?
Well, Connor Griffin would be laid off if he's...
Okay, so let's assume Connor Griffin's here.
Okay, then Connor Griffin, Spencer Horwitz.
Okay.
Brian Reynolds, Ryan O'Hearn,
Brandon Lau. Do you go?
O'Neill. Probably O'Neill.
Yeah. What positions are we missing now?
So we've got
8, 9 left.
We got left field. So I would put Mangum at 9. I'd like to see him turn over the order.
And then if they sign
Caratini, let's put Caratini at 7. 8 would be
Did we fill in first base?
Spencer Horwitz.
Forwards, right? Okay.
Okay, so we got second Brandon Lau, short Connor Griffin, third would be Triolo at that point, right?
Yeah.
So put Triolo at 8.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
I like that. And then let's parlay that right into, if they do nothing else, are they a playoff team?
Okay, so here's this. That's a great question. I think that was one of the questions we received via Instagram too. So that's a good point. Right now, as currently structured, I think they're an 80 to 83 win team, which puts you at about 500. But that doesn't incorporate like margin for error. So that could be a couple wins in either direction. So yeah, that could put them at a playoff position, right? Like the Diamondbacks a couple years ago, or teams that sneak in the NL with 83 to 84 to 85 wins. I think one more bat, depending on who it is, puts them over the edge, especially in the Central. Like, especially if the Cubs aren't going to go get Kyle Tucker or re-sign Kyle Tucker or get, sign something big offensively. Like, I think the Cubs are flawed.
Yeah.
And the Brewers are always going to brewer. Like, I think the Brewers could be really good. I think Akil Baddoo could be an all-star this year.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think they're in a position to compete for a playoff spot. I think a bat or two, depending on who they are, puts them over the edge.
What is Spencer Horwitz's ceiling? I'd say 20 home runs.
20 home runs for sure, but like a 350 to 370 OBP, like plus on base percentage. A guy that gets on base,
out a lot,
doesn't strike out a ton,
gives you good at bats, quality at bats,
extra base hits. So I'd love to see him at like a 780 to 800 OPS.
Are the Pirates going to spend more? Are they actually going to spend more? I think they're
definitely. In all seriousness, from everything we've heard and what we've been talking about, I definitely think that if it makes sense, they're definitely going to add to this team. Now, how much, I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be what this question is implying.
Yeah.
This is not going to be, hey, they're going to go out and give Kyle Tucker a 5 year.
They're not going to get Bregman, Bichette, or Tucker. That's just not going to happen.
Those sexy signings are pretty much over. Now, could I see a Suarez? Potentially. Yeah, right. But I don't think this is going to be a Bellinger or whatever those whispers may be. I think if they're going to spend more money, it's going to be on 3 more guys, a back end starter, another depth bat, and maybe a bullpen arm.
Yeah, I'd love to see another bullpen arm. They've been, for what it's worth, we've talked about it on the pod, but like connected to Sir Anthony Dominguez. He's a guy that has late inning experience and is a veteran. So I think that'd be valuable for this bullpen, who's young, but also gritty. A lot of guys with high leverage experience. I think something that I'm really excited for going into the season is the depth.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of depth, especially with the pitching. You got a bunch of rookie arms and Ryan Harbin, who I've been told by many people is one of the most MLB ready arms we have in the system. Brandon Bedouin, Antoine Kelly, who could step in the bullpen or start. Antoine Kelly's we're a big fan of Antoine Kelly. He was on the pod. So
is Bedouin.
So is Bedouin, and so is Harbin. So big fans of all those guys, and they're on the 40-man roster. So I'm sure we're going to see them in Pittsburgh at some point. But I'm really excited about the depth, and I don't think the Pirates are done. I don't think they're close to done.
What how about this right here? After all the moves going into spring training, say they're done right now.
Okay.
What is your biggest concern?
Oh, that's a good question.
I can get it started off here. I think my biggest concern at this moment is depth when it comes to the starting rotation.
Okay.
I and this is the only reason I say this is because Skeens is going to Skeens. Keller is going to eat 180 innings. After that, you have a lot of young arms who are definitely going to hit their innings limits or surpass whatever they've thrown in recent years. And I'm not saying that they can't do that or that they're not going to be successful doing it, but it could be an issue, right? And I think you need a little bit more depth there to give those guys days off in between. You have Jones coming back, and you don't know what he's going to look like after injury. Hopefully everything goes well there, but you're counting on Ashcraft, who's had an injury history, to surpass 150 innings.
He hasn't thrown innings in his career.
Right.
Put aside the injuries. Like he just hasn't.
He hasn't been there.
Yeah.
And then Bubba in a full year, what are you going to allow him to do? And Hunter Barco, well, he's promising. Like, he has a significant injury history. What are you going to allow him to go? And it's all going to depend on how this team is performing and if they're winning and how deep into games those guys can go. I think you really do need to add a veteran arm or two, at least depth-wise, in order to cure those concerns.
Yeah, I think a Quintana, a Tyler Anderson, we've mentioned these names before, Martin Perez, all guys who are familiar with the Pirates organization are all free agents, and they love their lefty vets. We've known this over the past couple of years. I think they're all viable options. Quintana probably being the most expensive, what, in the 6 to 7 million range, probably. I would welcome that. I'm going to go a different approach here. I think my biggest concern right now going into this season is catching.
Okay.
And I'm going to double down on this when a lot of people are going to be like, we have so many catchers. Yeah. Well, like you said, if we have 4, you have none. Who is going to be the catcher? Who's going to be the guy going forward? Like, you can't expect Henry Davis to be anything more than Austin Hedges, because that's what he's going to provide at the plate. You can't put a guy that's going to hit 160 in your starting lineup a majority of the games.
Yeah.
Like, unless he's going to improve at the plate and spray the ball more and not try to pull everything down the line aggressively, he is going to be a backup. And he's going to be a good backup. Like, Austin Hedges still has a job to this day because of how good he is behind the plate. And Henry Davis has kind of recreated himself behind the plate. But who's going to be that guy that's going to be your catcher one? And that's the big question. That's why I've been advocating for going and get a catcher. I was advocating for Danny Jansen early on in the offseason. I like Victor Caratini a lot as a guy that could pair with Henry Davis, especially offensively. I just think it's a lot to expect Rafael Flores to step into that role right now. I think he could. I don't want to say I don't believe in him. I like Rafael Flores, but if you want more certainty, I would go get a Victor Caratini.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think if I were to go back on that question, I think rotation depth and catching is going to be huge going into 2026. Other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. I've had a lot of questions just like in the general public of like, hey, Adam, what do you think this team is? Like, are you optimistic? Yeah, I'm optimistic, man. Like, I think this is going to be a good year. I think they've done a significant amount, all things considered, to improve the starting lineup. Like, you've added 2 All-Stars. You've added a contact bat and a really good glove in Mangum. And that helps Brian Reynolds. That helps O'Neal Cruz. That helps Spencer Horwitz. There are pieces that you already had there that are going to benefit from these additions. And then, of course, Connor Griffin could be the biggest add of all of them.
I think the biggest addition to this offseason, and you come back and tell me that I'm stupid midway through the season if I'm wrong, is lineup protection. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Like, you've seen guys like O'Neal Cruz struggle, Brian Reynolds struggle for periods at a time, and you're like, these are supposed to be our guys. These are supposed to be the heart of our lineup. Lineup protection is a big, big deal, man. You know, Juan Soto even mentioned going from the Yankees to the Mets that I don't bat behind Aaron Judge anymore.
Right.
I think it's going to be a big, big deal, and I think O'Neal Cruz is going to see a lot better pitches to hit this year. And if I were a betting man, I'd bet on O'Neal Cruz to kind of break out this year and have a bigger year. Yeah. So I think that's going to, if I were to sum up this offseason and sum up what the biggest addition is offensively, it would be just the depth of the lineup and the protection that it provides for some of the guys that have been here.
I agree. Chances on bringing IKF back, I hope 0.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I just don't see what the benefit of that would be for this team. Do you think Endy Rodriguez can bounce back? I like Endy.
I need to see it, man. I mean, he just hasn't been healthy. He seems like a great character to be in the clubhouse and a good personality, but like, we just got to see it. No love for Joey Bart.
I mean, listen, if he was what he was when they brought him in and they thought that was going to be that power bat, then sure. But he hit 3 home runs last year and the glove regressed.
The glove was bad. Like, we know firsthand pitchers, a lot of the pitchers don't like throwing to him. And, he's supposed to be the offensive replacement, but he's only going to hit 3 home runs that last year. And he was only like other guy that was above 100 WRC plus, which shocked me when I read that. So like, he has the slugging potential, but I don't know if last year was just an off year for him slugging wise, but we need more from him offensively if he's going to be that bad of a glove.
Yeah, I agree. Here's an interesting one. Thoughts on Verlander, good veteran
Ooh.
pitcher on the young staff. He's a shadow of his former self, but he's out there and he's a friend of Kelly. This is something I brought up on the pod a couple of episodes ago. There's a connection to Bill Murphy there as well. Obviously, there's a Kelly connection. I think he would be a really strong veteran presence. He's still decent, all things considered. Like, you look at the numbers, he's still not bad.
Yeah.
And I would take Verlander if he was willing to come here on the cheap and be a fifth arm or someone who could fill in to give guys breaks. Absolutely. And I think you're just basically adding another pitching coach when you add Justin Verlander. I actually
think
this
him
could
and
be a decent
Skeens
option.
would be a
Oh my
dream
God, can you
tandem.
imagine?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, obviously there's hope at a deadline if they're competing that they're going to make more moves. Do you think Connor Griffin will be the opening day shortstop? That's what we're hoping for. I think they're going to give him every chance.
Yeah, he's going to get every
to
opportunity.
earn that spot.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very difficult, but I think he is going to have every opportunity.
And I think if he happens to go down to AAA, which I know is going to be met with a lot of disappointment, but if he goes down to AAA to start the season, like, it's not going to be something that's going to last a very long time. He's going to be in Pittsburgh probably by May.
I love this question. Would you be able to explain lineup protection for those of us who are still struggling to understand the concept?
Ooh, you want to handle that as a offensive guy? Yeah.
Baseball, for an individualized sport, is still a team sport, right? And while you might be up there by yourself at the plate, what you see in terms of a pitch arsenal could depend on the guy in front of you or behind you, right? So, for example, you gave the Aaron Judge, Juan Soto question, right?
Yep.
Like, you have to pitch to Aaron Judge
knowing
you have to
pitch to Aaron Judge knowing that Juan Soto is behind him.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
so you're going to have to stay in the zone,
Yeah.
right? You can't, for example,
you can't evade both of them.
O'Neal Cruz was picked out pretty much by every team about near the All-Star break. It's like, hey, if we don't have to pitch to O'Neal Cruz, who's after him? Nobody, right? So we can flip slider, hoping he's going to swing, and then maybe he does too much and he doesn't get a pitch in the zone. And then you're taking away what O'Neal Cruz can do best, which is put the ball over the wall, right? If he's not getting anything good to hit, obviously he's going to start chasing more. He's not going to be more comfortable up there. So putting Cruz sandwiched between an O'Hearn or a Lau or mixing up that lineup allows him to see more fastballs.
Yeah, I think putting a Hearn and a Lau in the middle of that lineup is like, all right, we got two guys that were all-stars last year. They're really good bats. Like, you're not going to be able to pitch around O'Neal as much as you were last year, because last year he might have been followed by a Henry Davis or wherever he was in the lineup at that point. He moved around quite a bit last year, but like, you could pitch around O'Neal last year, knowing that I don't have to worry too much about the next hitter.
Sure. Teams aren't worried about
knowing that he chases too.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like, who cares? Last year, if you walk O'Neal, whatever, he might steal second base. We're not worried about anyone driving him in, right? It really does matter who you have surrounding the lineup, and there's not as much pressure on O'Neal to be that guy anymore. And yeah, he's going to see more fastballs. He's going to have to if everything plays out. This is a funny one. Trevor Bauer is a fifth starter. Yeah, he's a pervert, but he's cheap.
No, it's not going to happen.
They're going to get over the former part of that one.
No, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Sorry.
Also, he's not that good. This is my hot take.
Yeah. Any other online submitted questions before we wrap it up here? A lot of good stuff here.
A lot of good stuff. Alrighty.
Here's one submitted on X. Why was Jack Brannigan added to the 40-man? This is a roster spot for a free agent. Is he actually in the plan for 2026? What does that mean for Trillo, York, Gonzalez? Might they be traded?
So
loaded.
I don't think he's in the plan for 2026 necessarily, but like, Jack Brannigan's a toolsy MFer, dude. Like, he's got an 80 grade arm and 80 grade power. Outside of that, it's just like putting it together.
Yeah, I think one part of that is not a lot of bats in the system. You want to protect who you have there. But yeah, man, like, he's been playing shortstop.
I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, he's sleep on Jack Brannigan. I think the injuries are there, and we interviewed Jack on the show, and he's a really, really, really nice guy. And we met him in Altoona. You couldn't have a better guy to be around in the clubhouse. It's going to be a matter of if he can get a little bit more selective at the plate and not be a 3 true outcome guy. Maybe a little bit more bat to ball.
I mean, this is the guy that screams like if the hitting doesn't work out and he just swings and misses too much.
98 on the mound.
He could be Stetson Lee or like a Rick Ankiel. Like that's the type of player he is. Like he's got an 80 grade arm. That's why he's at third base. And I think he pitched a little bit at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So really strong arm. Like he's got eye popping tools. It's just putting his whole game together. And I think they're just betting on the tools. With that said, the chances of him being a 2026 contributor are very low. He ended his season with a big shoulder injury.
Yeah, which
was serious. Like I don't see him making it in the big leagues this year. But
and then what does that mean for Triolo, York, Gonzalez? Not really much of it.
I don't think that impacts them at all. I just think they're betting on it. They're wanting to see more of a guy that has loud tools.
Yeah. Also, adding a guy to the 40 man, I mean, just gives you more options to move around as well. It could be a trade option.
They protected a lot this year. They protected like 6 or 7 guys, right?
Yeah, a lot. It worked out, man. Yeah. It did. I like the moves that they've made so far. I can't complain. Do I want them to do something else spectacular? Sure, everybody does. But as it stands right now, the Pirates are much better than they were in 2025.
Yeah,
this 2026 team going into spring training, if everybody's able to stay healthy, they're going to be able to put out a very consistent lineup. Now, what I'm curious about is how that lineup changes on a day-to-day basis, like with Don Kelly as a manager. Do we still have the mix and match type? I
mean, to be fair, I don't want to like clown on Shelton right now, but like for Shelton, like he didn't have this type of lineup to deal with.
No, of course not.
He had to mix and match a little bit, but I do think Don Kelly is going to play a little bit of matchups, and he's got the flexibility to do so with Ryan O'Hearn and Brandon Lau and all these guys that can play a little bit of different positions. And I think we're going to see some matchup related lineups.
I would say a decent amount, just because that could be a slippery slope when it comes to Cruz's struggles. Like the question is, how much would you say Cruz's struggles last year was because of lack of protection? I would say it got worse as the year went on because teams realized.
Yeah, then it becomes a mental issue. I don't like people don't understand that. Maybe the casual fan doesn't understand like the mental side of baseball, being on the field for 162 and the toll it takes on your mind. Like some guys handle it, everyone handles it differently, right? And like, I obviously think that was a big contributor amongst other things.
Same with Reynolds. I think you can make the argument for a lot of people. I'm not going to blame everybody's down year, Reynolds off year on solely lineup protection, but I think putting him in a better position is necessary.
Because Reynolds is a guy that his carrying tool was bat the ball skills,
right? And
being a guy that could be in the middle of your lineup, but put bat the ball and get on base, and he just didn't do that last year, especially for the first 2 months. Man, that was dreadful.
All right, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. If you don't already, make sure you go to YouTube. You're on YouTube, or if you're watching on X, hit that subscribe button down below. We got episodes coming out every week. We have a prospect interview every single week. We got them lined up for like the next
2 months. Almost.
2 months, yeah. A lot of really exciting stuff happening. Pitchers and catchers report February 11th.
Yeah, it's around Valentine's Day.
So we're ramping up, man.
We're ramping up.
We're getting ready. Excited. If you love Pirates baseball like we do, you're gonna want to follow Bucco Bantr.
Yeah.
Not only this offseason, but for this year. So I implore you right now, while you're here, hit subscribe so you can catch all the YouTube videos. Make sure you leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and then tell that friend to tell their friends to watch Bucco Bantr.
To tell another friend.
To tell those friends, tell those friends. Go to X, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok. Make sure you follow us for all of our latest content. We got multiple videos dropping every day. We've had Brandon Lau on the show, Jake Mangum on the show recently. John Jaso was an awesome interview. You can go check that out. Carter Guas was just on the show. We got a ton more prospect interviews coming out over the next 2 months. Yeah. Like quite literally,
every week, every Wednesday,
scheduled every single Wednesday up until the season, just about. So you can get all those for all your Young Bucks action. Someone said, can't wait for Pirates Fest. If you're going to Pirates Fest, make sure you come and say hi to us.
Was that number one fan, Patty Gyron? That was Patty number Gyron. 1 fan.
Shout out,
Let's
Patty.
go,
Yeah,
Patty.
if you're going to be at Pirates Fest, or if you're going to be in Pittsburgh, let us know. We'd love to say hi. Maybe we'll probably have some trivia and some giveaways at Pirates Fest as well. Somebody said they still don't understand lineup protection. I don't know if I want to get into that now, or basically you're only as good as the next guy. There you go. There's lineup protection. Hey, appreciate the new subscription here, Anthony. Hey, we'll be in Bradenton March 1st
to 8th.
through the 8th.
Yeah.
We'll be there for a full week this year, so make sure you come and say hi. Again, we'll probably have some giveaways down in Bradenton as well. And can't thank you guys enough for all the support this offseason. It's been really fun. We're trying to put in as much work as possible to give you guys a ton of content and be a trusted source for all of your Pirates news. So again, before we get out of here, I'm going to beat the dead horse on this one. Subscribe.
Then unsubscribe, and then subscribe again, unsubscribe, subscribe again. Tell a friend, tell a friend.
Make sure the last one is a subscription.
Yeah.
Until next time, raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates. And